it should make you even more sick. Therefore, ladies and gentlemen, not only is this going on, but that politicians, such as two men here, Dominic Cummings and Ed Balls, that were at the heart of Conservatives and Labour, whilst this was all going on, or at least at a period where all this was going on, discussing now openly if and how these issues could have been exploited for political capital. Truly, truly disgusting, ladies and gentlemen. But this is the British political class and what they think. This is what they think of the victims and people that went through this and their families. The only thing they were thinking of is how the uniparty, one aspect of it, could weaponize it against the other side while still securing the same outcome, which is the same tyranny that we've been exposed to and been forced to go along with in the UK for however long I can remember, certainly since I've been born.
But at that time, this wasn't coming across the desks of cabinet ministers. I mean, I don't know whether you ever had any dealings with it. I didn't.
I didn't directly. I mean, there was definitely, there was the emerging prosecutions in places like Rotherham. And I guess there was a sense in Conservative circles that, this was embarrassing for Labour because these areas were run by Labour councils, that the Labour councils often drew a lot of support from the local Pakistani origin community, that they didn't want to kind of call it out. There was definitely, but we never thought that was something that you could sort of politically exploit, frankly.
Really? But I would have thought if you thought this was something...
That's what they're concerned with, ladies and gentlemen. How this issue can be politically exploited. That the Labour, just we know, they basically relied on these Pakistani Muslims for their entire vote, at least for a period of time before they got so big that they started electing their own candidates, which surely even the most short-sighted politician could have seen coming. That again, they're discussing how they can politicize it. Not again about solving the problem, about politicizing it. Speaks to the entire problem with the UK establishment right here. Right here. These are the face of the treasonous... These are the faces, or these are some of the faces of the treasonous regime that don't care that this atrocity has been allowed to take place. They don't care. Their daughters, sons, whatever, are protected. Nothing bad is ever going to happen to them. They catch a cold, it's the working class that dies of pneumonia. They catch a cold, they catch a cold in the form of a slight media scandal, that nobody even really cares about. It's the working class that catches the pneumonia and black plague of mass migration and the rape of Britain. And they don't care. They've openly voiced contempt for everybody that's tried to talk about this. They've assassinated their characters, assassinated their reputations. Everybody that tried to talk about this was labelled as a racist, as a far right, all of this stuff, right? Just for trying to raise these perfectly valid concerns and bring these to light. And all the while, you just have politicians at the top with their, exorbitant wages, as it always is in a socialist system, wondering, how can we get some capital, get some return off the back of this? You don't hate the establishment enough, ladies and gentlemen. You don't hate the establishment enough.